I did the back of this styrofoam drawing that I'm going to be giving to my mom, as originally intended for a Christmas present. Now all I have left to do is the bottle and the aluminum can. This is potato au gratin, of which Dad diced up the potatoes, put in sour cream, shredded cheese, and those same sliced up jalapenos that he put on the nacho platter. From some days ago. This is a glass of iced, I think it's some kind of raspberry flavored schnapps, though it's the ginger ale soda, not the kind of liquor. And this is Italian wedding soup. I spent the morning the morning hours to roughly noon working on a styrofoam drawing to use as a prop character based off the person they have, basically the shotgun guy from the shootout section of the Skull Kid game. Which is from Newgrounds and features a kid with a skull mask and a chainsaw. It's based off the shotgun guy, but I added in some additional details, such as putting a button on the pants and giving him footwear beyond just essentially a black line. Since I didn't really feel it would be very realistic if it was just, if the footwear were essentially just a black line at the bottom, I felt like I had to do some more detail, so I essentially made boots of varying shades of gray after I drew in the laces and all the other details. I managed to do the back part of the styrofoam drawing roughly from 3:30 p.m. to about 4:30 p.m. before the sun set so much, in part thanks to snow's ability to reflect light, before the sun set to the point where I would have to turn on this artificial light in order to see, because on white styrofoam, the pigment made by a yellow Sharpie marker is typically hard to distinguish. So I had to do the back by coloring in the purple, going between the yellow before the sunset. Shortly after accomplishing this, Dan and I went to Salvatore's. As tonight they had a special. I believe it's $10 for a pasta dish along with a big loaf of garlic bread with cheese. Sprinkled cheese melted on, I believe. Or maybe it's just melted cheese. Either way, it's definitely melted. I spent some of the knowledge points today on this ancient wonder, since someone within my fellowship, the one I'm a member of, invested, I believe, a 15-point pack of ancient knowledge into it. So I haven't yet completed investing knowledge points into this technology. I recently jumped into the rabbit hole of the Mr. Incredible becoming uncanny meme. Seems to be interesting so far. I saw snippets of it months ago, but it's only just now that I decided to take the plunge. I believe being on my phone after getting back from Salvatore's was what helped me to get into that, although now I'm currently exploring it on my laptop. That's what I was doing before Dad served this meal. It's currently 10:37 p.m. We were at Salvatore's from roughly 5 to 7 p.m. During which (5 to 7:30 p.m.) maybe, during which I had 3 cocktails. First, I tried the the new monthly cocktail special, the Polar Bear, which looked blue and came with plenty of cherries. Then for the second one, I essentially said Witch's Brew, since I believe that was a cocktail special I had previously. Although, because the bartender put an excessive amount of a certain ingredient into it, it ended up being blue and thus looking very similar to the Polar Bear cocktail. It was essentially a second polar bear in my mind, and hence why I opted not to take a picture of it. The third cocktail was something the bartender referred to as a Rum Punch. It had, I believe, an orange slice garnish, plenty of cherries, and looked pink in color. I'm not entirely sure what was in it. The plan for today was to have 2 pieces of pizza at 11 in the morning, then 2 more at 2 p.m., but because I was focused on working on the styrofoam drawing that I ended up using it as a prop character for the 9910 Hamming episode, I instead had those 2 pieces at around 11:30 in the morning, microwaving them for 1 minute and 10 seconds. To compensate for that, I had the second set of 2 pieces at 2:30 p.m. Microwaving them for 1 minute and 5 seconds because those 2 pieces were smaller than the first set of 2 pieces. And my plan regarding the pizzas seemed to work pretty well, since the pieces ended up being nicely hot, without being scalding hot. Oh, there was also a point in which I, as part of taking a break from working on the prop character styrofoam drawing, I took some time to get rid of the clutter on the dining room table, which turned out to be considerably less than expected. Though I actually only cleared a small amount of it by hanging a menu of the place where Dad likes to get essentially party trays of house special Singapore noodles onto the fridge using what was most likely the strongest fridge magnet on there. Along with putting another copy of that same menu on the living room coffee table. I'm not sure if that's what you call a table put in front of the couch, but it's still a table nonetheless. And I wouldn't call myself an expert regarding tables, but I completed all of the task sets regarding this event, and it's just hours away from ending. I got all of the artifacts for the Boblin's Express service. I'm just going to put these here. When we got back from Salvatore's, Dad gave me 2 thin Piltridge Farm chocolate cookies. And then a bit later, he gave me this chocolate. And I believe both of those events happened between 8 and 9 p.m. I had coffee from roughly 6 in the morning to I think it was 9:30 when I finished it. The whole pot that Dad prepared, although he took some of it with him to work as a mailman in a thermos that works so well it's still warm. At 11, I opened the window in the spare room a bit in order to keep myself cool. I struggled with it at first, at one point trying to use an ice cream scoop to wedge it open, and then a grabber that Dad uses to get Singapore noodles from the party tray into a bowl like this to try and open the window after that little plastic wedge wouldn't budge. After checking to make sure the window wasn't locked, I was then able to open the window after carefully maneuvering my legs to get closer to it. It seems the window frame or slider was simply a bit stuck.